How the Narcissist Cons You, and what to do about it. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to enable you to understand all about narcissism by explaining it from my perspective and those of my kind. We are, in essence, con artists. Many engage in such behaviour unwittingly, unaware that they are being manipulative. The more evolved of our kind and the aware narcissists know full well that we're drawing people in, possessing them, and that we're doing so in order to pursue the prime aims. Different aware narcissists may not necessarily refer to it as the prime aims. That is the nomenclature that I have utilised. However, they know that they need to control people. They know that they need a response from them, what I refer to as fuel. They will identify that they will take bits and parts off other people and use them, character trait acquisition. And then, of course, there are all of the consequential benefits, the residual benefits that come with being able to bring somebody under control. Access to networks, somewhere to live, provision of money, provision of great sex, somebody to cook and clean, and much more besides. I speak with many people as part of the consultations that I provide, enabling them to deal with what has ensnared them, bringing them insight and understanding, often in a romantic ensnarement, similarly familial ones, and less often, but nevertheless significantly, they are consultations that I deal with, dealing with friendships, work issues, business issues, court disputes, and so forth. My kind crop up in all different types of places, and therefore I have advised people with regard to lots of different circumstances of dealing with the narcissist. One of the common problems that occurs is in relation to the fact that the narcissist does not present a red and tooth of claw all of the time. For instance, a client of mine will say, "But HG, he really seemed to love his kids. And so could it be that it was just me that he didn't love, or that he fell out of love with, and that he actually does love his children? Or he was so loving in the beginning towards me, and then it all went wrong. I must have done something to have caused that. And I'm worried that with this person that he's gone off with, well, she'll get the benefit of all of the good stuff. All of the wonderful behaviours that he showed towards me, she'll get, and perhaps she can somehow crack the code and keep all of that. Or it might be she was just so good with all of her friends and she's really popular and will do anything for them, yet was always giving me a hard time. She seems to genuinely care about her friends, and she has animals which she appears to really want to look after. But when it came to me, no. And it's this dissonance, of course, between what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. The fact that you know this person has been treating you badly, but then you see that they seem to treat many other people in a good manner. They treat them well. They appear to care for them. It's important that you understand, and I have mentioned this previously, but it's worth reinforcing it, that the way that we con you, in essence, is to present you with an image that is attractive to you. As I've mentioned before, if I was to go into a bar and sidle up to an attractive lady and say, "Hello, my name is H.G. Tudor, I'm a narcissistic psychopath. Would you like to be my girlfriend so that I can abuse you within an inch of your life?" She'd likely scream, throw her dirty martini in my face and run away. I've just lost control of her. Yes, I received some negative fuel, but I lost control of her. Therefore, I failed in what I was seeking to do. Much better for me, of course, to look good and smell good and make conversation with her, perhaps leading with a compliment, being witty, urbane, charming, and interesting. And I draw her in. I make her mine. And that essentially is how the narcissist cons you. We feed you an image of something that appeals to you. In some instances, the aware narcissist targets you and researches you beforehand. See my book, Sitting Target, for more information in that regard. In other instances, it's a combination of instinct and calculation, and in others, it's just pure instinct. The narcissism guides that narcissist to mirror, to identify subjects that are of interest, to skirt away from instances where the narcissist detects that response didn't meet with favour from the potential target. And so what you're presented with is somebody that you're going to be attracted to. Somebody who takes care in their appearance. Somebody who grooms themselves well. Somebody who smells great. Someone who may be handsome or beautiful. Someone that's fun, interesting, possibly intense. Takes an interest in the things that you like. Doesn't like the things that you don't like. Appears to know people that you do. Is funny, is charming, is interesting, is exciting. Is polite and respectful. Whatever it might be from that vast chocolate box of different options that would draw you in, we present them to you. And basically, although there's lots of different manipulations that we engage in, and throughout my channel I detail so many of them for you, essentially, the simple way that we con you is to present to you an image of a person that appeals to you. Take, for example, a prostitute. Female prostitute, not a narcissist, and she has a male client. If she were to hook up with him in her parlour, and the John walks in, and she was to go, yeah, what do you want? And she's chewing gum, which she takes out of her mouth and sticks on the bottom of her stiletto, and says, come on then, get it out then, indicating for him to take out his member. And she then goes, it's not very impressive, is it? But I'll do the best I can with it. And she pops down on her knees and starts to pleasure him. And partway through, she lets his member slide out of her mouth, and she coughs, splurts, she mutters, she takes a call partway through. He feels that he's not getting a very good service. Indeed, it might result in him refusing to pay if he's not done so already, and he's likely not to use her services again. Instead, particularly the higher-end prostitute will sell an image of being totally into that man, making polite, interesting conversation with him, giving them the oohs and the ahs and the oh my gods, as he's made to feel like he's an Olympian sex athlete. Of course, what she wants him to do is shoot his muck and get out of there as quick as possible so that she can move on to the next thing. And doubtless, as she's riding him into oblivion, she's thinking about what she will need to make for tea and what she needs to pick up from Marks and Spencer's or Iceland on the way home. But she sells him an illusion, and it causes that man to think that she's really into him and that he's fantastic in bed because of the reaction that she gave, so that he might tip her and may well use her services again. She's not a narcissist, but what she's doing is selling him an illusion to give him a great time so that he'll do it again. Similarly, go to a lap dancing bar, and one of the young ladies there will sidle up to one and ask you what you do, and you could say, well, I'm an executive foliage numerator, i.e. you count the leaves on the trees in the park for the local council. And she'll say, well, that's fascinating, that's an interesting job. And of course it isn't. What she's doing is engaging and selling the interest in you so that you purchase a dance from her. And when she dances from you, she gives you all of the hot, sexy looks and all the moves to make that man invariably feel special. So he'll buy another dance. She's probably bored out of her mind. Her shoes her feet are aching, and the stilettos that she's wearing, and she just needs to stretch her back, and she can't wait until her shift is over. But if she were to complain about all of those matters, she wouldn't get further dances and wouldn't be making the money. And it's not just those people who are sex workers that engage in the selling of those illusions. So many other people do. The people that are the actors and the actresses, the people that turn up at theme parks and put on that smile and wear the costume to jolly along the children. Inside they're thinking, fuck me, I'm sweating like a pig inside this outfit. Gosh, I can't wait until I'm out of here tonight. I hate doing this job. But they smile and they make the noises and they do all the characteristic moves so the children have a fantastic time. So they come back to that theme park again, and that person remains in gainful employment. Of course, the difference is with all of those individuals that are selling in an image, they do not then turn to abuse the very customer or client that they're engaging with. And we do. Moreover, of course, you're not forging a life partnership with that individual or being a member of the family. But what you need to do and keep in mind is that the way that we con you is to present to you an image of the very things that matter to you. We're very skilled at doing that. But it is simply an illusion and is just another form of abuse. What you need to do is understand this. When you have established that you're dealing with a narcissist, your emotional thinking is likely to take saying to you, but are they really? He was so good with his children. No, that is the appearance of being good with his children. But is he a narcissist after all? She's got so many friends and they think so much of her. That is just the facade that's been operating. But she appears to really love her dogs. She's a narcissist. She can't. It's the appearance. And the way that you deal with the way that we con you is you establish that you're dealing with a narcissist by utilizing my expertise to drive that message home, utilizing my objective, high evidential threshold assessment of whether that individual is or is not a narcissist. And then, fixed with that knowledge, you owe it to yourself to understand whatever I was shown at the beginning, in the golden or bronze period, was simply an illusion done to draw me in, to ensure that I could be controlled, so that I could be feasted upon for my fuel and character traits and residual benefits. The narcissist can't show the dark side to begin with because that would defeat the very purpose of drawing that person in. And anything that you've seen with regard to that narcissist's behaviour, where you think they've treated other people well, understand it's just the veneer or the facade. And you have to remind yourself of that. He is a narcissist. He therefore cannot love. She is a narcissist. She therefore has no emotional empathy. He is a narcissist. He's good with his children because it enables him to control them in a benign way. It helps him with his facade, and he can triangulate the children with regard to the suffering intimate partner primary source by saying the kids love me and not you. We con you by giving you an illusion. We con you by selling an image to you that accords with what you want. Recognize that that is what it is. And understand, having established that you are dealing with a narcissist, you owe it to yourself to conquer that emotional thinking by reminding yourself each and every time that anything that suggests that they are not a narcissist is a product of emotional thinking trying to con you and is merely an artifice, something that's fabricated, manufactured, a veneer, a facade. It's an appearance. It seems. He seems so kind. Precisely, he seems. It just looked, however, that he appeared to be so good with everybody else. Yes, he appeared. And you must keep that as watchword to both your heart and mind as you continue to sail across the emotional sea. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.